Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are. Thank you so much. It's a blessing. It's another beautiful day. And today is an amazing day. We're in the Pearl of Africa, the land of opportunities, in the capital, Kampala. And today we are blessed to have an amazing guest. Welcome to Impact Masters Podcast in collaboration with Africa's Talking Podcasts, bringing you Africa's story, telling them raw the way they are. It's a blessing once again, and I welcome you. Today we're having a conversation with one and only Solomon Opio. He's a mover and shaker in Kampala, doing amazing stuff. He's an entrepreneur, a lead, a co-founder, and many more. I'm going to tell you about him shortly. How are you, Solomon?
Fine.
You good?
Very well, Michael.
You want me to introduce you or you want to introduce yourself?
You can introduce me.
Amazing stuff. I knew it. So Solomon Opio is the lead and co-founder at Soltech Digital Solutions, a technology company. He leads Binary Garage initiative to support technologists and startups to learn, design, and build right products for the right markets. He's also the Uganda Country Lead for Startup Africa Roadtrip, a project born in 2017 with the mission of discovering East African local ecosystem and sharing professional skills in the field of digital marketing and venture capital. For the past 5 years, he has worked with Outbox Technology Hub as a community manager and capacity development lead, respectively, in charge of training and other activities geared towards growth and skill development for the developer community, startups, and industry players. He also worked as a systems and network administrator at the College of Computing and Informatics, Information Sciences for a period of 1 year and 3 months. He's also a Google Cloud Developer Community Lead, GDG Cloud, lead for Kampala, in charge of programs, training, and other events and initiatives around Google Cloud Technology in Kampala. Prior to that, he led GDG Kampala for 3 years. Now, Solomon, when I read this, it just tells me that this has been long overdue, right?
So one of the things, just like when you ask someone to introduce themselves,
yes,
they could do it better. Mm-hmm. But yes, the things you have talked about, correct.
Yeah.
And maybe one other thing is that I've worked with the Innovation Village, leading the tech community as well. So
yes.
I have been part of the tech ecosystem, I can say, for the past 10 years. Yeah, so maybe that's what I really needed to add.
Yeah.
Very passionate about technology and innovations.
Yeah. So, Solomon, in these podcasts, we normally say that you cannot tell an African man's story without letting them know who they are. And you see, when you're known as an African man, there's so much into it more than what I've just read. It's just part of the story. It's like 10% of the story. So today I would like to know, who is Solomon Opio? Where was he born? How did he came up? Until we met Solomon Opio, the technology mover and shaker in Uganda.
Okay, that's taking me quite back. Mm-hmm. But I would say I was born in a district called Lira. Mm-hmm. That's in the northern part of Uganda.
Yeah.
In the earlier days,
yes.
Primary school level, then going to secondary.
Yeah.
I did my primary school in Lira.
Yeah.
Then I went to Tororo. Mm-hmm. That was for my O level. I mean for my O level. Mm-hmm. Then later I also joined Chambogo College. That was in Kampala. Then
Chief. I don't know if you have ever listened to an African tell the story.
Okay.
That's an English way of telling the story.
All right.
I would love to know, how was the experience in Rira? Maybe there's a kid there. I don't know where Rira is. Maybe most of our listeners don't know where Rira is, right?
Okay.
What is the experience like there? Because if I come to Kampala, there is abundance. There is a lot of food. There's a lot of everything, right? And I know maybe across Uganda, there's not abundance of everything. I might assume the whole Uganda looks like Kampala, which might be wrong or I might be right. So how is that experience in primary school? Just take us through step by step.
Someone would say Lira is quite a hot district, but when you get to Kampala, you actually realize that it's the same kind of weather.
Yeah.
But yes, it may get a little bit hotter than Kampala. And we may have more seasons of rain in Kampala compared to the north.
Yeah.
Then one thing that Lira is known for is abundance of what people call, everyone refers to it as OD. That's the Simsim pest.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's if you get to the north and you do not have that, then there's really a problem. So every time you're coming from Lira, somebody is going to ask you, please bring for us some OD. It's really a nice. Did
you say
pest.
Simsim pest?
Yes, it's Simsim pest. So what happens is they, after roasting, you mix it with it's groundnuts mixed with Simsim. So the pest is what they're calling OD.
Oh, I hear you.
Yeah.
So it's more like a mixture of different ingredients and then making something out of it.
Not really ingredients. After mixing the two, after roasting nuts and roasting the Simsim,
okay,
all you do is grind.
You'll get a lot of protein from that.
You're ready to go.
Yeah.
You're good to go.
I hear you. Now you see, that's why you should not just pass by, So which is that one experience, in primary school that you remember vividly?
So in my primary school, I actually happened to be a leader all through. The experience, I would say, was more of waking up very early. I was in a school called St. Kizito Primary School.
Was it a boarding school?
Yes, it was a boarding school.
So how early did you wake up?
That was 4
a.m.
4 a.m.
Every day?
Because 5:30 you're needed in class. So you have to go and bathe. Imagine at that time of the morning.
Yeah.
It's really, really cold.
It's crazy.
You have to. We used to start with working out.
So you guys used to run, or did you used to lift weight, or what?
A lot of those would have our teacher, who was a patron at that time, would call us, wear your black t-shirts. Now your black t-shirts, what it means is actually you come bare-chested. Do not wear anything. So because we are blacks, it looks like we are wearing. We would look like we are wearing black t-shirts.
I see.
So that was a quite, what I would say, a harsh one for us. But along the way, it became quite interesting. Now I happen to be a leader, so that I was actually the head prefect. So I would have to enforce and make sure, people come for that. And by 5:30, you're needed.
So you even woke up
class
earlier than the people?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's what I remember. That's what I would remember, of course, apart from other things like, going for debate. I used to be, actually, some people said, I don't want to say but people said I was the best in debate. Then one time we had, the pupils were not interested in they didn't want to participate. So one thing that happened was they decided to inform the deputy head prefect. The deputy head teacher then, who came and put all of us down, a lot of canes. Whether you registered or not, and my name was first on the list, but I was still caned. I felt that was really, really not fair.
This is the principal?
That's the deputy head teacher.
Who is mostly in in Kenya, mostly deputy head teachers are display masters.
All right.
So
yes.
was he a display master?
Yes.
So did he feel like you guys are absconding duty as debaters, or?
That's what he thought.
Okay.
Because when you're reported,
Yeah.
Somehow I also think he really wanted to be known as working, enforcing something,
closing KPIs.
Exactly. And yet he did it the wrong way.
Yeah. At your expense, which is not.
Yes.
So nowadays there's this movement of less cane, less discipline, whichever way you look at it. What do you think? Is it something that is big here in Uganda, or?
So what I hear is these days you wouldn't really cane someone just. Just because maybe. Okay, depending on there are several lines of discipline that you want to enforce, but all I know is that they have reduced.
So it's not as stringent as it was before.
No, it's not.
Do you think the discipline really worked on people to be more disciplined, to be more focused, as opposed to now?
I think so. I remember one of my teachers when we had. Now he used to cane people because of poor handwriting. Mm-hmm. So while he was writing on the blackboard, we used to use blackboards. Mm-hmm. So while he was writing on the blackboard, I made sure my handwriting looked like his. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, we lost him. I think last month he passed on, but he was really a good teacher.
Yeah,
and I think I have a nice handwriting now because of him. Yeah.
So sometimes it's worth it. It puts across the point.
It really did. I think we benefited from it.
Yeah.
So if you were to bring some of those teachers who really caned us, I would give them a hug.
Oh,
I would.
But then you used to look at them like, why are you killing us?
You wouldn't like it.
Yeah. So, which was your favorite subject?
I loved English, and in my primary school, I loved English and math. Those were my best.
Yeah. I know when people are in primary school, there's that career choice. You say, maybe I'm going to become, in Nairobi, it's like doctor, lawyer, and engineer.
Yeah.
So what was yours?
I wanted to be, now at some point I wanted to become a doctor. Mm-hmm. I would say if I become a doctor, I would be fine.
Yeah.
If I become an engineer, I would be fine.
Yeah.
But those are the things that,
those
our
like
parents wanted us to, if my son becomes a doctor, and remember all my parents were teachers, but they wanted us for, those
to be better than a teacher.
Exactly.
Yeah. And do you think, by the way, now that you're talking about the teachers, do you think teachers are treated really well in terms of remuneration, in terms of packages that they get for shaping people's life?
I think the answer is a straight no. Because remember, these teachers are the ones who bring us to where we have to be. Without a teacher, you cannot become an engineer, you cannot become, that lawyer. You can't.
Yeah.
I don't know if... I mean, if you take me deep into, what we have currently, maybe a government would say the teachers are so many, but I believe with the time, their remuneration and all that can be improved.
Yes.
So that they can have, better lives.
Yeah. And by the way, if you think about it, I don't think, when people get to high school and universities, most of them want to become teachers, unless they have the true calling of, I want to teach people, this is what I want to do, because of, again, the remuneration, the lifestyle, even family obligation.
That's true.
Yeah. So I feel like this is something that we can actually improve across Africa, and we can discuss, how to do it. So you passed through a primary school. Did you perform well?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I did.
And now you join high school.
Yeah, when I joined high school, so by then the highest, I think the schools that were really sounding that time were those traditional schools of government,
public school.
Yes, public schools. So after looking into all these, I think I don't remember why, but St. Peter's College Tororo was one of those sounding schools.
Was it a national school?
Yes, yes, it was. So I went to that's where I went. I went to St. Peter's College Tororo, and yeah.
So in high school, you go to a college in Uganda.
What you call now? If you talk about high school,
that's from 5 and 6.
No. Now what we call it here in Uganda, it may be wrong,
Okay.
but when you finish your primary school level,
Which is up to class? Or
P7, primary 7.
Uh-huh.
Now from S1, senior 1, they're considering that high school.
Yes.
Up to senior 6. That's what they would call high school. Maybe wrong, maybe correct. I really don't know.
Maybe we can exchange notes. But in Kenya, you go from class 1 to class 8. Okay, the curriculum has changed a bit.
Okay.
And now from Form 1 to Form 4, which is high school. And then from there, you can join a college or you can join a university.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's the system. But right now, they're changing the system. So up to class 4, that is lower primary school. And then from class 5, I am not sure, it's so new.
Okay.
Onwards is lower high school or junior high school.
Okay.
And then you spend, I think, 2 years or 3 years there, and then you go to high school. And then from there, it's kind of messed up to an extent that I feel like, but I think what they want to enforce there is practical experience. So if you're good in music, if you're good in art, if you're good in home science, you can really do those things practically. And I feel like it's an improvement given, the dynamics of way people have been doing things, so that at least we have practical, people are starting industries, people building things by themselves. And that I'm sure will contribute, to the betterment of the industrial revolution as it is, plus now the tech revolution. Because if you start coding at standard 5, then by the time you're finishing college or high school, you should be really good.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So you
I think it's a good one.
Yeah.
So in Uganda, a school that is calling itself, if you hear, for example, there's going to be a school that is called a senior secondary school, starting from senior 1 to senior 6. Yeah. Now you hear of St. Peter's College Tororo. It's still from senior 1 to senior 6. Now all that is considered, there's just the ordinary level and advanced level.
Yeah.
So, but they're the same. So again, if you take us to college, you will hear there is College of Computing. Now that's at the university.
Yes.
So I think the order has been distorted also.
Yeah.
So that's why you'll hear the other one is being called a college. The other is just a secondary school.
Yeah.
Yeah, but looking at senior 1 to senior 6, join a college.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me ask you this. So even here in Tororo, you went to boarding school, right?
Yes.
Is there things to do? We call it monolization in Kenya, right?
Okay.
I don't know what you call it, like being welcome to the, adulthood or so. But it's just bullying, in other words. Do they do that around here?
It was a lot, actually. But I believe things have changed.
Okay.
We used to, when we got to school, I remember the stories that we hear that someone was bullied and he went to the headmaster and he told them, read the motto on your badge. And it says, a palm tree grows under difficult conditions.
So they just go back.
So you just go back. Yeah. But I believe by now things have really changed. Again, going to that school, I may not have really experienced a lot of that because when I went there, I had quite a number of friends already there at higher level.
Yeah.
In fact, in senior 6, there was a time.
Was that from your village or from your school?
From so now some of them were from my village.
Okay.
Then their friends became also friends to me. Yeah. So one of the things I remember was when we were at one of the evenings. One of the evenings we had, some guys came to me. They wanted, if you do not give us sugar, if you do not give us, the grab, what they're calling the grab, we're going to pour water on your bed. So one thing I did was to go to my. Now I did not tell those friends of mine in senior six, but I stayed with them for quite a long time. Yeah, and when I got. It reached, I think it was clocking. It was coming to midnight. Yeah. And they asked me, but Solomon, aren't you going to sleep? You've overspent time here. So I told them, there are these boys who said, if I do not give them my grab, they're going to pour water on my bed and all that kind of stuff. They're like, okay, let's take you. So we went. They told me, you enter. So what they did was, they surrounded the house. They surrounded the house, and so
were you in cubes or
yes,
how was the setup?
Yes, we used to be in cubes.
Like 4 of you or 6 of you?
Would be 4, but it's an open. Now I was actually sleeping at the entrance, not so that means whoever is coming in to get to their cubicles, they would of course pass
through your bed.
Through
It
where
wasn't a bunker or just beds?
Now, there were beds. Okay, there were partitions.
Okay.
There were partitions, but those partitions were more, they were not walls as such.
Okay.
It was a wooden kind of thing. So whatever is happening within, it's like for everyone.
I see.
So when I got in my bed, they were like, okay, are you okay now? They were like, yes, I was like, yes, I'm fine. So the people, no, the students who are there, I think were like, okay, so what's happening? It looks like this guy has a bodyguard, something like that. So
yes,
from that time,
no one bothered you.
No one bothered me.
Yeah.
So, but for other students and all that, there was a lot of that, until we had a change of the head teacher. Okay. And things started changing. If you're to go to that school right now, I believe it's really good.
Oh,
it's really good.
So it improves to the better.
Yes.
Yeah, okay,
Yes.
I see. So you guys used to sneak out of school for some reason?
Students used to.
Not you.
I want to be very, very. So I did not have a lot of that. At times I would get out during the day. Okay. But of course there are those who would get out in the night and
And what would be the main reason?
Some people there are those who love clubbing and all that,
and alcohol.
Of course,
smoking and all that.
It's very illegal.
Yeah.
And again, we used to have several students, coming from different countries, including Kenya. We had so many Kenyans. The story we used to hear then, and now if you're going to hear, if we are going to hear, if the Kenyans are the ones hearing this, they may be like, okay, so what are you saying about us? But I'll just say broadly how
tell the way it is.
Yes, how what they used to say, because of the restrictions. In fact, some of the Kenyans are the ones who told us. Because of the restrictions in Kenya concerning alcohol and all that, some of them, get to Uganda and they get the freedom, because of that freedom, they overdo it.
And it's affordable here, actually.
Yeah.
The liquor and everything.
Yes. So we had a lot of those, and I can tell you, so many Kenyans were being,
they're involved in that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there was that. But the school was not as strict as,
Yeah.
Of course, if they get you out, if it's really this serious teacher, they would then bring you for disciplinary action and all that.
Yeah.
But some did not really care. I remember I have actually that time I even met the headmaster himself outside.
Yeah.
All he did was greet us, but that was during the day.
Okay.
During the day. So the people who were really, really in trouble were the ones who sneaked out at night.
Yeah.
I mean, what would you go and do out in the night? And, again,
And it's
meeting
risky.
wrongdoers out there.
Yeah.
Now, because our school then was seen as, as a school full of, things, hooliganism and stuff like that, then we would have these guys, when there was a trading center you'd pass before you reach town.
Yeah.
It was called Kasoli. That's how they called it, Kasoli.
Yes.
Now, the residents of that place would actually come. I mean, if they know these are students of St. Peter's College, they would beat them up. So,
Why?
Yes, because
Yeah.
now, whenever we were going for activities like, say, football and stuff like that.
You guys used to do music festival or just football?
No, it was mostly football.
Okay.
So they would come on their way back.
Okay.
And
loot
they
the
get
shops
to
or
yes,
what?
go and loot the shops. Beat up people, especially when they lose.
Oh, I see. I think I know a school or two who are like that.
Yeah, so we had quite a lot.
Yeah.
We had quite a lot around that.
Yeah.
But really, I mean, at a point, the school started transforming before I even left.
So by the time you were leaving, things were a bit...
That's why I can tell you right now, I'm very sure the school has really transformed, especially when we had a new head teacher. Unfortunately, that head teacher also passed on.
Oh, rest in peace.
Amen. So when that happened, I mean, from when he came in and changed things around, turned things around, the ones who followed were really in a good place.
Yeah.
They didn't struggle. Yeah.
So you go through this process, and I assume it was teenage years, right?
Yes.
Of course, that's the time you are discovering. You know what? Maybe I'm going to adulthood. You are going to sports. There is all this, peer pressure. And I hear you had some godfathers who protected you really well. That tells me a lot of things as an African man. Were you tempted to be, the guy who does the wrong things all the time, coming from a leadership in primary school?
So that's another thing. I think for me, myself and leadership was, we could not part ways.
Okay.
Right from senior one, I became a class representative. Then getting to I became the vice chairman, students council. So again, the leadership, I always attribute it to that because I had all reasons to get spoiled and become, a bad boy. But because of the leadership position, I think it somehow
brought some responsibility.
Yes, it brought in, a lot of that.
Yeah.
One of the things one of the things I remember, a parent from my village mentioned that, I want to take my son to every school that Solomon has gone to.
Oh, you're that influential.
So now, because it simply saw me as, I think it saw me as a good person, and I was responsible. But I would say for me, it was more of the leadership roles that I had.
Yeah.
So when he took his son to that same school, the boy got spoiled.
Okay.
And this time I can tell you it wasn't because of the school itself.
It's just the person.
But it was just the person. So that's where I got it wrong. Everyone has their own personality. Own personality and their paths.
Yeah. So there's something I want to ask you, Solomon. We had a hackathon the other day, and I heard this from the hackathon that student leaders here, even from primary school, they are being chauffeured, using Toyota TX. Is that true, or is it just they were pulling my leg?
I don't think so.
But it sounded like this person who said it, they sounded so serious. I was like, how the context was this? So I give an example where people have to, put in measures for 5-10 years,
okay,
to plan and execute without being distracted by corruption, by what is happening around.
Yes.
And someone said, you know what, there are guys who are just student leaders who are elected by student, voting system.
Okay.
And they're chauffeured around using TX. You know TX is a big car.
Yes, I do.
And one of the guys built a voting system. So there's a guy who suggested that they should sell that voting system for such elections to test if it works nationwide. Do you get the point?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
But what I would say is, by the time now, if that is happening, it should be happening at a higher level.
Private schools?
So there is also the influence of the parents.
Okay.
Yes, they happen in private schools, and also the university, I would say. Now, when you get to the university,
for sure,
you're in a place where now
even
the political parties are looking at you, and all that. They'll definitely give you the funding.
Yeah.
If you look at the campaigns in the universities, you'll find a lot of money wasted, and
influence.
I don't want to call it wasted, but they spend a lot of money to have things done. Now, at one that I remember where we're looking at, I think at really a lower level was yes, there was that allegation that came. I really didn't dig so much deep into that, but there was that mention of students are now spending a lot of money, and that is usually fueled by their parents. But at a higher level, that would be expected because of But if you look at the majority of the schools, that may not really be happening. But there is a lot of buying of votes as well. I remember the times we and that secondary school level. In Tororo, as I mentioned.
Yeah.
I think the ones that we could really talk about was more around use sweets. Basically use sweets.
Mandazis.
But it wasn't that much. It wasn't that much.
I see. By the way, I can relate.
But like you mentioned, now if you go to that other level, it's more of the those international schools where there's a lot of spending.
Yeah. I mean, that made sense, and even I was almost tempted to ask, is this like international school? Is it a private school? Because I cannot. Well, maybe from my understanding, and I'm not ruling it out, neither am I saying it's happening. I'm just saying that when they mentioned that, it even showed me how people have changed. At that level, people are discussing like their students in primary school or senior school who are being chauffeured using TX. And that's, for me, it's the same thing. Like at the university level, I will not be surprised if someone is chauffeured or something, or they have a lot of money to go around. No. Let's leave that alone. So you just graduate from high school. Did you perform well in that level?
Yeah, that's why. Of course, that's where You're saying like that's a rhetorical question. I had to. I came to the university. I did software engineering and all that. That's not for someone who has really, It's not for someone who has failed.
But do you say? So you joined Makerere University, the university.
Yes.
Yeah. So how was that experience transitioning from senior school? I know at this point you're meeting now international student, like for sure.
Now that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you'd finished asking your question, but I think because of the excitement, I had to jump straight into that.
By all means.
So when I joined the university, first of all, yes, I applied to the university. Now, the university I was given was Chambogo University.
I see.
We all know that Makerere University, is the best and all that, but I really wanted Chambogo University.
It is the best.
Yes. So when that happened, I came to... And now my dad talked... He was a friend to the registrar of Makerere University.
Yeah.
So... after seeing my name at, in Chambogo University, he was like, no, but your son could come and do a course, software engineering. It's a new course. By then, I didn't really know what software engineering was.
And that is 2009.
Yes, 2009.
Okay.
And so if you look at that time, we had the courses which were there was, we had computer science and information technology.
Yeah.
Those were the two courses at the college. By then, faculty of information technology. So the new courses which were introduced were software engineering and information systems.
Yeah.
Right now, information systems has been they have again merged the two, information systems and information technology.
Yeah.
So when my dad heard that there was that course, I was like, you should come and apply for this.
Yeah.
Go and meet the registrar, go and see the registrar, and you talk about, see if it's something you'd be interested in.
Yeah.
So when I got to the university, meeting the registrar, he was like, okay, this is a new course, but it's a good one. What you can do, apply for it. It's really a good course. I was like, okay, let me apply for this, and I did.
And you got it.
I got the course, and one thing I remember when during that orientation week, our one of the lecturers came and was trying to find out from the students. So what do you think you're going to do after your software engineering?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, let me hear what these guys will say. Some people said, we are going to become programmers. Some people say we're going to become project managers, like several things.
Yeah.
But of course, they did not. He did not tell us what. And I can tell you all they were old. They were old, right?
Yeah.
Now, along the way, we started, of course, studying, and you begin to discover. You begin to discover, and then I said, okay, I think it's actually a good course.
Yeah. So for you are not sure this is what you want to do?
From the word go, I wasn't sure.
Because number one, you didn't understand what it's all about.
I didn't understand.
Okay.
But one thing I knew about myself, I really loved computers. But the in-depth understanding of, the software engineering and all that, I did not have that much.
Yeah.
So I just had a broad picture of, okay, but I did not know. Then again, it takes us to, the expectations of after you've left the university, how much is going to be, your salary and all that kind of stuff. So expectations were also very high, comparing ourselves, to international standards, looking at what they're paying in the US and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we discovered a lot, and by the time we got out, I think we were somewhere. We understood what we would do. Let me say myself, I understood what I would do after getting out of,
how many years were those?
While I was getting out of the university, 4 years.
4 years.
4 years of studying.
So let's not just pass through it, because there's so much that happens at the university. I want details,
That's true.
Number one, you're meeting beautiful ladies at the university.
Number
2, now you have freedom. You can go to class if you want. Number 3, you can wear whatever you want to wear.
Exactly.
There is no restriction. No one will cane you.
True.
But of course, you are expected to pass your exams.
True.
So did you pass all these, trials and tribulations at the university? And how do you manage to maneuver around?
So passing through all those, I think for me...
Maybe we should start with the ladies.
I remember telling people, I share this a lot with my friends.
Yes.
When I joined the university, I actually had a girlfriend.
Already?
I had a girlfriend.
You are ahead of the curve. Back in the village or in Kampala?
Now, we met in our vacation, senior 6 vacation.
That is Tororo.
After finishing senior 6, we went back home, and then we had, of course, your meeting. Now, my father was working in the northern part. That was in Nebi, not not Lira, where I stay. So we met that side. She had also gone there for a visit. The sister was there. So we happened to be new people in a place.
Or both of you?
Yes, both of us.
So that's how you connected?
That's how we connected, and we became very good friends. While joining the university, yes, I already had...
so you joined the same university, both of you?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Same faculty.
Oh.
We joined the same faculty. So
as an African saying, you brought a fish into the ocean. Whatever that means.
Yes.
But
so
yeah.
So now when that happened, I think for me, after I think in my year 2, in my year 2 we broke up.
Oh, okay.
We broke up.
Okay.
And from that, I think the experience, having that experience just took off my mind things related to women and all that. So I stayed for, I think it took me 7 years to think about a girlfriend. 7 years. And that was...
So it is true even here.
That was several years after leaving the university.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Wait a minute. What are your thoughts? So it is also true what they say about if you find a good entrepreneur or engineer, especially in computing, there's a heartbreak somewhere. And it gives them that focus.
I think so. Because for me, I remember it actually happened at a time when we were getting into doing our tests, our tests. But so now, much as I was stressed that time, I still remember one thing. I remember is that one of the course units came out, and I was the best. I happened to be the best, and I remember asking myself, "But wait,
I was going through this.
I was going through this stress and all that, but I managed to be the best in this course unit. What if I wasn't stressed?" So I was asking myself, did the stress bring, did it give me something that would help me go through?
Yes, yes.
But that aside, I think for me, the biggest, what I would speak about, it's more about God. I also have another good relationship that,
Nice,
I want to call it good relationship, but does not mean I'm not a sinner. But I think the more we focus on God, the more it comes to your situation,
when you need Him.
Yeah, so I think that's how I overcame a lot of, But one surprisingly, when I broke up, when we broke up at the university, I had so many friends who were girls.
I see.
So now, while I was in a relationship,
what does that mean?
I really can't tell.
Okay.
But I think I happen to have. So someone tried to explain and was like, okay, I think these girls knew that you had a girlfriend, so they didn't disturb you and all that. But when they realized you were, single, they decided to come around. But I don't really think that was true. I think my personality is more of I'm a people person.
Yes, yes.
I'm a people person, and in terms of now, when it comes to ladies, they always need, they want support in terms of come discuss for me this and all that, and that's how they
got attracted.
They got attracted to me. And one thing that I also tell people is that probably because I did not ask for more than friendship.
Oh, that's what I wanted to ask. Like, when you say you had so many girls around, it meant like, you had whatever you needed at any time, whatever that means. But I hear you. So you were straight, like, true friendship.
Exactly.
I have genuine support.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's not true to say that, when a man tells you, or when a lady tells you have a friend, it can be just a genuine friend.
Yeah, a genuine friend. And actually, one thing I also noted was that if you ask these ladies, I asked one of them after university, and I was like, what if I asked for more than friendship? And she goes straight away and tells you, you wouldn't be my friend.
Oh, I see.
And that I have seen that a lot.
Yeah.
You have so many friends who are girls, and they come to you, and you want more than friendship.
I see.
They will run away from you.
Yeah.
Some of them will give in, but a good number, I believe, if they're really serious, they'll simply run away. But
and do you have one there who is genuinely interested in you more than friend?
I think I just decided that time. Yeah, some of them passed, of course. I mean, they would give you signals, but I think I simply switched off the line for relationships and getting to, yes. I simply switched off and focused on my books and going to church, pray and stuff like that.
You have said something very, very important that I find really interesting with entrepreneurs that I've talked to so far about spirituality and religion. So, are you spiritual or are you religious?
I would say spiritual.
Spiritual.
Religion is not really anything to focus on.
Yeah. Why?
Because at the end of the day, when you look at salvation, it's not about a religion. You can say, I'm Anglican, but what do you do as an Anglican?
Yes.
I'm a Catholic. What do you do as a Catholic?
Yes.
So it's about your salvation. Now, for us who are born again, someone is going to tell you, okay, are you a born again Christian and doing the right thing, what God wants you to do, and all that?
Yeah.
So you do not tell. Actually, one thing I didn't tell you, that while I was in primary school, I was actually a choir master in a Catholic church, but I wasn't a Catholic.
Okay.
I wasn't. So
that's interesting.
Yeah. So I would pray from a Catholic church because I was in a Catholic founded school. And that is what,
Yeah.
I was praying to God.
Yes.
I wasn't praying
Doesn't
to
matter
anyone.
which religion.
It doesn't really.
Yeah.
Maybe there are others that may go beyond that. I really don't know about them.
Yeah.
The experience I've had is, praying with the Anglicans, the Catholics, then there's the Pentecostals. Those ones I really know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Chief, I want to ask you a question around that now that you've said you're more spiritual. So where do you put your spirit, body, and soul? Are they aligned? And when I talk about this is that your spiritual, which needs nourishment in terms of, there are different ways you can nourish your spirit to be always spiritual.
Yes.
Your body, I can see your feet.
Okay.
And your soul. So in this case, I'm talking about mind, body, and soul, right?
Yes.
So your mind, you can be, sharpening your skills, reading, practicing things.
That's true.
So how do you think they're balanced? And if they're balanced, how do you balance them?
I think what we need to understand in life, in whatever you do, you need to program yourself.
Yes.
You have time for this, you have time for that, and all that.
Yes.
And do not. I think for me, the most important is for you to have. If you have an alignment with your spiritual. If your spirituality is aligned, well aligned, you're going to be. It's going to be perfect.
So you're saying if you focus more on your spirit,
yes,
everything else aligns to that.
Exactly. Why do we're in the season of Lent? People are fasting.
Yes.
You need to make your body weak so that you are stronger spiritually.
Say that again.
You need to make your body weak. That's the reason for fasting.
Yes.
Make your body weak, and then spiritually you're stronger.
Yeah.
So that when you pray, it's more about the spirit is stronger, and you can.
It takes over.
Yes, it takes over. But we always have the forces fighting. There's a spiritual. I mean, your body, and then the soul. So you look at. So what happens is it's also biblical where there's a lot of script. I may not give a scripture right
specific
now.
Scripture.
Yes.
Don't worry about that. You can give us the context and then we can check the scriptures.
There is where I don't remember who exactly who said I do the things that I do the things that I don't want to do. And I do not do the things that I want to do. So when you talk about you do the things that you don't want to do, now that's the need of the body.
Of the body.
Of the body.
Yeah.
Then the spiritual things, it's always overpowered by the body.
Yeah, because the body is at home. That's what they say.
Yeah. So
but the spirit is for seriously.
So things, sexual immorality and all that.
Yeah.
Even if you're born again, you're not immune to the things.
True.
So it still takes you to, you can be tempted and you can be overpowered.
Yes.
So you need to feed the soul.
Yes.
Other than the body.
Yes. Frequently.
Yes.
And one of those things is, fasting, praying, meditation.
Yes.
And the list goes on. So do you think, Solomon, a lot of people nowadays are hypocrites?
I don't want to say that, but quite a number of people fit in that description.
Yeah.
But I don't want to. I mean, I have had, I have seen.
But you want to be politically correct.
Yes, I do not want to. I do not want to be. I don't want to be taken on the other
Context,
context, and they're like, what is he saying? But yes, I've seen that, and a lot of people. But you can't ask me in terms of percentage, and
Of course, yeah. That's not relevant. The point I was going to is that, do you think that is acting in our detrimental in terms of progress as Africans? And I think even before, religions. Yes, Africans used to be spiritual. They used to pray. They used to believe in something. They used to be, community approach about problems.
Yes, it is. It is. When you look at concentration right now, there are very many things. Now, the devil does not want you in the right direction.
Yeah.
And they say the Bible says the devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy. So that means everything that you see that is immoral is heading you to the wrong direction, and that's what the devil wants.
Yeah.
And yet, there is very minimal attempts to take people in the right direction. People don't want to go to church. People don't want to, have those fellowships, read their Bibles. Even the people who are born again struggle a lot with, reading their Bibles and, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So it puts us in a place where we are being overpowered by the evil than what is right, what God wants us to do. So one thing that we need to understand is that when you seek God, He guides your footsteps. I think it's in it should be Psalm 16. It's somewhere in Psalms. I don't remember if it's
just in there.
Yeah,
you can go and find it. So the point here is, what you're trying to say is that we need to have that willingness to seek.
Exactly.
It's not easy, but for everyone actually, but we need to be willing, because I believe in one thing that I read from the Bible also, that there's only one thing that we have in this world, and most people take it for granted.
Yes.
We have the freedom of choice.
Yes.
Now, what we choose actually results to many things that happen into our life. I'm not saying most of the time they're bad, but sometimes they're good. But when you choose God, at least He can guide you to choose the right thing.
That is it. Now, this is what it says. We choose, we make our plans, but God guides your footsteps. So, you can make your plans, but if you do not involve God in it, and you're simply taking the opposite direction, then God is not going to intervene. God is not going to force you.
Yes.
Unless He has some other, unless He has designed something, maybe to bring in a testimony of a kind.
Yes.
But God acts when you invite Him.
Yes.
So yes, that taking us now back to that point. If we do not if we do not accept to be, guided by God, then definitely we go off.
Yes. I agree with you. Now, Chief, your life of campus was, of course, starting to begin to invest in spirituality, as you said, that you could have so many ladies around you and have that genuine connection with them without any hidden agenda. And I think this is an affirmation for so many people. It might look light, but there's so many people maybe who are feeling lost, who are feeling like, they are lost out there. And I understand at that age, sometimes you can be confused. What do you need to do in this life to make it? There's exams, there's maybe school fee arrears.
Very true.
There's a girlfriend who has broken up with you. There's a girlfriend who is asking for money. There's so much that goes on in there. A lot. And sometimes maybe when even a parent sends someone to school or to university, they assume, this person is serious enough to have qualified there. But you forget that this is also a human being who is trying to figure out, to understand themselves.
That's true.
So let's not take it, this, it sounds by the way, because you passed through it and it looks like, it wasn't a big deal.
True.
And remember also there are people who are surrounded by these ladies, but all of them want this guy, right?
Yes.
That guy is going through a lot. So there's so many scenarios you can look at. And I think if they find their spirituality, they find for God guidance, I'm sure they could get out of it alive. Sometimes people don't get out of these situations.
I know.
So that's that. So you graduate and also you perform really well.
Yes.
And you decide to join in Outbox.
Yes.
By the way, first year you do something around Makerere. Why? Was it an internship?
That was internship. So when I did my internship, I was retained.
Yeah.
I was retained, and so I continued to study while finishing my. I continued to work.
Yes.
While completing my academics.
Yeah.
So that like you may have seen, that was 1 year, 1 year and 2 months.
Yes.
So that was in my last year at the university. So in my year 4 I was working.
Okay. So were you like an associate? Were you like a assistant lecturer? What was it?
Now I was Now there I was a systems administrator, systems and networks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you set up the lab, you make sure that the servers are running
exactly
the right way and stuff like that.
Exactly.
What did you learn from that, Chief?
Technically, or
like now you're in school, right? You're finishing your school, and now you're doing the real stuff.
So one of the things I used to do, I used to do a lot of configurations. We had, of course, you're dealing with students, so many thousands of computers you can think about.
IPs and all that.
Exactly. Yeah. And so one of the things, I did a lot of configurations. If you saw on my profile, like you read, I now lead the the Google Cloud developer community.
Yeah.
Now that attributed a lot to my love for cloud computing and all that.
Yeah.
By then, it wasn't more of the cloud related.
But it gave you
yes.
like a light to what it means when things go to
exactly.
cloud.
So you move that to the cloud.
Yeah.
All those configurations and all that,
yeah.
you'd experience them in when you get to cloud.
Yes.
So I happen to learn a lot, around cloud computing and all that. So that's one of the reasons as to why I really.
The reason why I asked you what did you learn is because I understand some people or some students find themselves in an internship. They are doing computer science or software engineering or sometimes IT or BBIT.
Yes.
But they end up cooking coffee for the office guys, for the 6 months. Because at the end of the day, what do the lecturer need? A paper showing that they were interning in certain place.
That was one of the reasons as to why I actually turned down one of the telecos in Kampala.
So
I applied
you had that offer?
Yes, I had an offer to go and work with, to go and do my internship with a teleco. And someone told me it's going to be more of, they're not going to, remember these guys are doing business. they're not going to give you the core things to do. Since they're doing business, they're not willing to,
They can't risk you breaking up things.
Exactly. They can't risk losing money because of you, because of an intern.
And that's the reality on the ground.
Exactly. So they would give you, simple roles. While I was working at Outbox, my boss actually told me there is this student who wants to do internship. Can you come and can you see if you can put her somewhere?
Yeah.
So I asked this lady to come. We talked. I interviewed her, and so simply what I asked, I told her, I do not want it to happen like what is happening out there.
Yes.
I need to know what you can do and where you need to, where I should put you, so that we see that you're actually you're trying to achieve
You're
what
maximizing
brought
your
you.
strengths.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to be here, sit, and more of do. It's going to be like office administrative work.
Yeah.
Considering the kind of, you're a technical person.
Yeah.
You want something related to IT and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's not what I want to do.
Yeah.
So she did not, I really did not see what I would give her. And I simply said, no, this cannot be, So a person like that would say, okay, you denied me an opportunity to work and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I did not see where I would give him, what I would give him. And it happens a lot out there.
Yeah.
For example, if you're working with, I'll give an example of a teleco.
Yeah.
They may take you to call center.
Yes.
You're simply receiving people's calls and, responding to them. Though, it may now, so there are people who are really, really, really good. And if they can really demonstrate that they are good,
they can be absorbed.
then a few of those can be absorbed by those telecos and all that. So I'm not really trying to paint the telecos and all that, those other companies as completely bad. But a good number of people would end up where they don't want. You must be really, really good to be absorbed in where you want to be.
Yeah. But you brought a very, very important thing, and I wanted to ask this. I know that has not changed a lot because, of course, these are people in business. They can't risk it all for someone. What do you think can change? Do you think maybe it's about time maybe you embrace mentorship, though I don't believe so much in mentorship? Should we start embracing apprenticeship where, as much as you're interning, you can see how things are done, you can ask questions. As much as you're not doing it, you really understand the processes because that you learn a lot from that.
So let's look at someone who has done with the university. They've come out to work.
Yes.
One of the things we are facing right now is actually the apprenticeship that people should be looking at. So what happens is when you get out there, people want the guys who know. Just like I mentioned, they want students who are coming and they know, and yet they're asking for 3 years of experience and all that. You see, we have. Let's look at companies like Andela, the Tungas, and all that.
Yeah.
Andela, you may know that Andela actually closed in Uganda.
Yes, I know about that.
So Tunga, I would say Tunga is a bit of struggling with the same kind of, with the same kind of, they're having the same kind of experience.
Yeah.
You want developers to work for for companies abroad, in the US and all that.
Yeah.
But I will tell you that about 80%.
Yeah.
From the last survey we did, we're looking at 78%
Yeah.
of the developers in Uganda being being the average age you would see is 27.
Yes, yes.
27. A person at 27 may not have all that experience that you need.
Yes, yes.
So that's a junior developer. So people are starting. They still do not have a lot of experience for you to put them there.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things we have worked out, trying now to build is that apprenticeship. Can we have people work on projects that can put them in a place where they can they can say, I have experience.
Yes, yes.
I have one of my students, actually, one of the students who came to me and said, I want to I want to begin working on, real life projects. And, I'm actually supposed to go and meet her this evening.
Yeah.
So now, what I told her to do is to start working on a project.
Yes.
I'm going to give you a project, and that should be something that you can say, I built this from.
It's your portfolio.
I do not expect the student. I'm not going to give her these timelines of, deliver this by this time and all that. But I want her to get the experience, and with the time, she will learn and, and get out there.
Yeah.
And I told her, by the time she leaves the university, she must be somewhere.
Yeah.
She has been working on projects. There's actually a web platform that we have been building, and it's what we are going to review. So if we can have more of these students, now we have community. If you look at the tech community, there's a lot of learning. People are learning. There's this tech event here and there. So we're saying we have done a lot of the trainings, a lot of learning and all that. Can we now look at those projects? Building. Can we now build? And you say, I have this platform. I built this, and now how we want to get these guys into this is to now. If you look at, for example, last year, one of the things we didn't do was to do with a lot of hackathons.
Yeah.
Now, if you're to look at our work plan this year, we have more of these hackathons coming up.
Yeah.
And so we're saying, can we have these teams? Can we bring teams together to begin building, and we guide them on what they need to do? Yeah. So there is a lot of that. What we are lacking at the moment is that apprenticeship. We want to see people who have built so that they are able to be put on those, those projects that the people in the US and all that need. Yeah.
So this is a very interesting aspect you've brought now that we're talking about the ecosystem.
Yes.
And I think with that, actually, it's going to change a lot of things for sure. But I want to know, because you have not started building this ecosystem yesterday, I can see here you started this back in 2013, just immediately after graduating.
Yes.
You're community manager at Outbox. Outbox was one of the first innovation hub in Uganda.
Yes.
I think even we had a chat back in the day trying to do an event here. And then Pivotis was big.
Yes.
Was, these events that were trying to fund innovation.
I was actually a judge at Pivotis.
Exactly.
Yes.
Now you see. So I was presenting a project there back
okay.
then. I was still running communities, developers to be specific. We had sponsored Pivotis, I think, back in 2015 or 2014. I can't remember. It's a bit of time passed by. So when you look at the ecosystem then, the challenge was too much hype. A lot of things were happening at the same time, but no one was focusing on the key result. Like right now, you can say, you know what, we have these workshops, we have these meetups, we have different technologies being taught, capacity building. But right now is about people building, people putting in work, which means now that changes the dynamics of the products that we expect, right?
Yes.
And even if someone is hiring here, they will be sure that, the talent is right, the market is right, and even the pay sometimes is right, when you combine all those factors.
Yes.
Do you think we have learned from all these mistakes over the years? And if there are these mistakes, what are the mistakes around Uganda or Kampala?
So that's in line with people building.
In line with the developer ecosystem.
So if I'm to take us back, first of all, in Uganda, if you look at, you're talking about the events that used to happen.
Yes.
Things started around then. When I joined Outbox, I think the only, if you're to look at, for example, a hackathon, we had only had one hackathon in Uganda. But which happened in 2012. 2012, that was Garage 48.
Ah, yes.
The Garage 48 hackathon.
Yes.
So now from then, we used to have some meetups, which used to happen. There was a .NET user group.
Yeah.
Then there was a group of girls that used to celebrate, I think, women in technology.
Was it Python Girls something?
No, it wasn't Python. I've forgotten the name. But that was back then.
But the reason I've mentioned this, a shout out to Joanna Katushabe. She used to do Pythonistas kind of events. Or maybe there's Python girls, something going on. She came to Nairobi and she was really big. I think right now she's in Canada or UK, I'm not sure.
Yeah, she's in Canada.
Doing amazing stuff.
She's in Canada.
Yeah.
Joanna was my classmate.
Oh.
She was
okay.
She was my classmate. And I think in the evening class, there were only two ladies.
Very smart lady, that one. Yeah.
She is.
Very
She's
smart.
a great woman.
Yeah. Shout out to Joanna. If you listen to this, please let me know when I'm coming to Canada so I can do something and talk about it, because I know that's a journey altogether.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you know what she was doing in Nairobi? Aviation.
Yes.
Can you imagine that?
She really, I think her story, she used to love a lot of, aviation. Joining, I think tech was not her thing.
Yeah.
She loved aviation, but she couldn't have it. So she decided to, pursue software engineering.
And then do
later on, we had an event with her, and she was saying, I fly planes during my free time.
You see. No, that's and it's this very interesting aspect for most people I've talked to, and I'll give my story later on. I wanted to become a pro DJ.
Okay.
But I was told, you know what, this is not happening. You know how African parents and DJing doesn't, even today, not so many parents who have embraced the artistic part of things. And I know, now I understand why, because I've seen the industry in its entirety. And when I finished my degree, that's when I just joined an academy, train a little bit, and on my free time, I DJ.
Wow.
Yeah, so I
That's
understand
interesting.
our journey, yeah.
Yeah, so to take you back, when we started, one of the things we would see is that people would come for meetups. Developers come for meetups. Meetups were happening monthly. One of the things we started to do was to actually do a survey, understand what is it that these developers need. Why is it that a developer that is, part of this community will come and attend an event this month and will not show up the next month and probably wait for a couple of months and come back.
Yeah.
So we realized that the content that was being delivered was not necessarily something that would help them. Looking at the ecosystem that we have right now, with very many young people yearning to, learn and develop, we saw that they needed more of things that would help them learn from the beginning, put them at a level where they can take off on their own. Now, that is what wasn't happening. So people would come to community and disappear. Then, when these meetups used to have, you come and there's pizza, drinks, and, a lot of that.
And free swag.
So free swag, that is what a number of people were coming for. So we decided that, okay, one of the things now we need to embrace is actually getting through programs. Can we begin having programs that have, people can learn?
Yes.
And you say, at the end of this, say, boot camp, I have learned this, and, I can now start building.
Yeah.
Now, what you add on is more of like, giving you additional knowledge that you can, that can take you to that level. So when people started in embracing that, we started seeing results.
Yeah.
Talk about, consistency and all that. People became consistent. The ones who were really consistent with the community programs that we were running became very successful at the end of the day. So I used to receive I would receive feedback from developers. Someone sends me a certificate that they got from, and they tell me it's through your community that I was able to achieve this.
Yeah.
So for me, it was really things that you would not see that at the beginning. After being a community manager at Outbox, I went into capacity development.
Yeah.
So mine was now more around capacity development.
Yeah.
Now, what the developers that was one area where the developers were lacking. When you begin thinking about something, please build to start something and take it to completion.
Yeah.
There was also, people who are trying to learn. Developer A runs to, web development. There's a next event which is coming up. It's about, Android development. They want to jump in there.
Yeah.
So people are mingling several things at the same time. So it takes them a longer time to actually grasp something and,
Become an expert in it.
become an expert in it.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, someone needs, again, a bit of panel beating to help them get to where they want to be.
Yes, yes.
When we embraced things to do with, the hackathons, along the way, we also got several other events. People now coming in to actually support community. I can tell you then, the local companies we have did not believe in our developers.
Yes, yes.
They did not.
Yes.
So along the way, we now started seeing also intake of the local developers.
That is locally.
Yes, locally.
Yeah.
But you'd see, this company has outsourced, this software and paying millions of money.
Sometimes millions.
Yes.
But a local developer, they not believe that.
Exactly. They do not believe in them. So when we started,
and by the way, just to make the record straight.
Yes.
I think also it's an African thing. That I don't know if it's an African or human thing. Until today, there are even governments that ship software from all these places, but they forget the local ecosystem requires their support. Because if you don't put these resources locally, sometimes it hurts. And that's one of the things that you have discovered with Africa's Talking Developer Ecosystem. And right now, what you're trying to do is to ensure that we have that capacity locally in case a customer requires a custom-built solution or they require integration. The developer, that ecosystem, they have the capacity to build that. And with that, you see that now it start, piggybacking to the building.
So that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And we have seen, I think over time, we still see a bit of, outsourcing and all that. But I think right now we have companies are now trying to, embrace and appreciate the developers that we have locally.
Yeah.
Maybe what I would say now for the developers is that, we need to focus on more of, getting to learn. We need to, like every year, we all see that, technology is changing every
month. Are you talking about here?
So
since you graduated, how many languages have come up?
Quite a number now.
And taken over, not just coming up, taken over. Right now, we are talking about ChatGPT. You're talking about AI machine learning.
Exactly.
Not at the research stage. When we were in school, it was about research.
Yes.
We talked about it in books and all that. Right now, you can use it. It can tell you. It can write you an advert in real time. It can write you code that can compile and run in your machine.
Yes. So one of the things I think I don't have to forget is that again, while we left the university. I keep telling people that if I went back to the university right now, I would be in a very good place to actually come up with, my startup and make money out of it. Now, while leaving the university, I would already, have a startup that I'm trying to build.
Yeah.
Now, for us, we used to have. Now, innovations. These days, you now hear people are talking about, innovation centers within the universities and all that.
Yeah.
We did not have them then. So, to understand how someone actually comes up with an idea was a problem, was a very big problem. But we have several opportunities.
Yeah.
We have several opportunities that any developer, just to let you know if you don't, that every year Makerere University alone, leave alone the other universities, Makerere University alone,
Yes.
14,000 people graduate from it.
That is software engineering or just a total of 14,000 graduates?
Exactly. So
a total or just software engineers?
No. Not software engineering.
All
generally.
The graduates?
Yes, the graduates.
Oh, okay.
In terms of software engineering, maybe 300, something. That's really a small number.
Yeah.
But we do not have these jobs
to give these people.
We do not have these jobs to give these people.
Yeah. And these are smart people.
Yes,
Don't
these are
forget that.
smart people.
Yeah.
But if they do not understand the innovation bit of things, then there's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
So a brilliant student who comes out of the university should be thinking of, coming up with a startup and making money out of that.
Yeah.
Those are things for us we didn't think about. We didn't really know them.
Yeah.
I remember one of the systems we built at the university was a solid waste management system.
Mm-hmm.
This solid waste management system, every time I went to Mbarara University, I went to judge at their ICS awards. Consecutively 3 years, I would find a similar solid waste management system. But none of them has been deployed anywhere. So, why?
Let me ask a controversial question now. They normally say the biggest business in any country, in any given country, is the government. So that comes with the responsibility of reinvesting in the ecosystem. What is the key role of the government in ensuring that some of these systems, and these at the college level or the university level, I'm sure even, I don't know if you guys have science congress here, maybe in high schools where people come and present different exhibits, they win, and all that.
Yes, they are there.
There are all those solutions.
Next week, I'm going to actually be judging at one of those.
Yeah. So, what is the role of government to ensuring that all these things, as much as they do not, give these people money, they help them implement them, because with the time, and I'll give you an example. Sweden is where it is because of the embracing innovation.
Yes.
Sweden has the most patents, maybe after US, or maybe it's in top of US. The last time I checked, actually, they were almost, on the same level. And it's a small country.
Okay.
Because they embrace the innovation that comes at different levels of education, as well as the government has a kitty where it invests in the innovation. Same with Israel, if I'm not wrong. But what is the role of government?
So I think one, which I won't dwell on much. I'll tell you what I think. But first of all, we have so many innovations that come up.
Yeah.
And some of them have failed. When they go to those exhibitions you've talked about, they meet, people like ministers, and, they tell them, we need to, help you take this to the next level. And sadly, it will end there. Now you have these guys who come and they say, yeah, you have brilliant ideas. There's one of the innovators who has come to me several times, and the guy is a sharp innovator.
Yeah.
And he keeps telling me, Solomon, you see, I've even seen the president, I've seen ABCD, But we have failed. We have failed to move forward. We need, assistance to, help us, commercialize and, make money out of this.
Yeah.
When the president leaves that place, be it he has met the president, he has met, the Speaker of Parliament. I want to be very sincere. I actually told him, please leave politicians
alone.
Leave politicians alone. But one of the things I would, because at the end of the day, for you to get to seeing the president, who promised, to help you get through, your hurdles, it'll take you forever to actually go and address that. The president has so many things, they're thinking about, talking about. So it's not a thing that you want to, really dwell on.
With.
So the same applies to ministers. They'll promise you heaven on earth, but they will not, So if we can look at, first of all, taking that more serious and let it be handled from a level that can support these innovators. Yes, they need the money. That is one.
Yes.
But again, one of the things that we do not now understand. That's why I said I really do not want to dwell on, more of the funding to take this startup to which level. There is one of the things that government could actually do.
Yes.
To support these innovations.
What is that?
And that takes us to policies.
I see.
If we are looking at innovations in Uganda, and we have a lot that we can offer.
Yeah.
Why do we then allow for, all the time having, this company is going to, outsource this? We talk of, whichever kind of software that they tell you government is using, doing ABCD, it's either from the US or whichever place.
Yeah.
Can't we begin thinking of local solutions?
Yeah.
That would go way beyond supporting the developers within the ecosystem and even the innovators. So I think there's a lot that can be done. Let's not think that all we want is money. We need a conducive environment for these guys to thrive. Without that, we cannot, we're not going to move anywhere.
You have spoken like a leader. Yes. And Solomon, I'll be very honest with you. I think that could be a game changer, because if you think about policy, even when you're saying, if you graduate or maybe you're a graduate or whatever, you have started your business, can we have a policy that gives you a tax break? We have seen this work in different countries.
Thank you very much.
Can we offer you a diplomatic passport so that if you want to raise or you want to go and pitch your idea in another country, you don't struggle? Can we have a process whereby, in one or the other, maybe get these certificates of operations at a discount or at debt, right? So that you can pay later. In a way that you don't feel like I'll give an example for Kenya, right? For you to start just a small business like a barber shop, you need like 4 or 5 certificates or licenses to operate. And all these licenses you pay for, right? One for the county, another one for the government, another one for business registration. The place that you're operating in, you need to pay for it. You need maybe to design it to look a bit appealing. And that's just barbershop. By the time you're done just paying for all those things, and you've not bought the furniture and whatnot,
yes,
you have spent double the amount that you need to open that business.
Can I tell you one interesting thing?
Yes.
Oh, there was a startup. Or there is a startup. They have now grown to some level.
Yeah.
But where they started, it took them quite, the longest time for them to get, I think that was a license to operate.
Yeah.
Good enough, we had the founder of this startup being, I think he has a dual citizenship. He decided to go and now he got frustrated in Uganda.
Yeah.
But I wish this could actually be, heard by our leaders in Uganda.
Yeah.
As I speak right now.
So should we go on Twitter Space or something?
Yeah.
Or it's too late for that. But don't worry. Next time we'll plan for that.
So we had this startup that tried and got frustrated in Uganda.
Yes.
And he knew that the only way for him. Now you go to the guys because you're talking about health.
Yes.
You're talking about health, but you're not given a go ahead. You need to be given license to actually do what you have to do, and for that to happen, again, you need to be trusted. I would imagine that if some white from some country came and said, there is ABCD, it wouldn't take them that long.
Yes.
So this guy, after getting frustrated in Uganda,
Yeah.
he decided to register this startup in Kenya. When he did that, that's how we got a way to
operate.
To operate.
Yeah.
Because he already had it.
Yes.
Another one said they went to one of the ministries. There was someone in charge. I don't quite remember quite well if it was a ministry, and he was told, for us we do not offer that kind of letter, and yet without that they wouldn't operate.
Yeah.
So where should that person go?
Yes.
So it takes you ages to achieve something.
Yeah.
So now I would say that is hindrance from the government.
Yes. And it doesn't require money. It just requires policy change.
Thank you.
And an understanding that these are business that can actually grow.
Exactly.
In the worst case scenario, it fails, but give the person a chance to try it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that would actually be revenue for the government.
Yes.
But they do not see that.
Yes.
So we had a lot. I think in terms of government support, we are still lacking. And I don't want to say they are not interested in actually supporting.
Yeah.
But they do not know. They do not probably understand where to start from. They may not understand where to start from.
Are you saying the guys who are running this, they're not up to date with what is happening in tech?
They need to get to. I think if they befriended, let me give you an example.
Yes.
We have, I think, the National ICT Hub. Did not start so long ago. The preliminaries of what was happening, was in way back. I think that then I was working I was still with Outbox.
Yes.
So government came and was looking for what's happening in the hubs. What is what can we do to support these innovators and all that.
Yeah.
And what they did was, go around and, they tried to understand what was happening in the hubs. One of the things they would have done was to begin channeling support to these hubs. Or partnerships.
Yeah.
Can we have partnerships with, these hubs and, begin supporting innovations within?
Yeah.
So one thing they did was, okay, boom, let's have an ICT hub.
It's called kiosk mentality. It's rampant in Africa, whereby you see someone selling eggs, you feel like, you know what? How do you sell it? How many eggs do you sell a day? This guy is making a good margin. Next to that kiosk, you open another egg kiosk.
Exactly.
Yes. So you made it right. So they could have actually partnered with the existing hubs.
Yes.
And then over time, if there's need and there's growth and there's need, they open the hub.
Yeah, but I know, yes, they have. I don't want to simply talk about the negative. I believe, government has also, tried to support hubs when you look at, things, even things to do with, internet and stuff like that. They have really, they have put in there something.
Core. So they have laid also the fiber optic cable, things like that.
Exactly.
Maybe try to manage data bundle prices and all that. So of course there is all that. But what we are saying, we're not saying everything is bad, but of course we are saying it can improve. Because even when you think about Kenya,
it can do better.
It was not where it is 10, 15 years ago.
Yes.
It's just this kind of feedback, this kind of criticism, that positive criticism that actually has brought Kenya where it is. We are not there yet, I would not say that. There's a lot of work that needs to be done, to be honest. Having been part of that ecosystem for some time. And I think anywhere in Africa, I will not say they are there yet. But if we put in work, actually even we can learn from the grown market, the market that are making moves across the world. And because not everything that they've done that is really positive, I would say, and do it the right way. So, Chief, you have been doing this for some time now. And I feel like there's a lot that needs to happen.
Yes.
Do you think private sector is playing its part properly?
I think so. I think so. They've really tried to, Now, when you look at the private sector, it's all about doing. It's about doing, and for you to earn a salary, you
have to put in work.
Yes, you need to work. You need to work. I actually one time said, when it comes to working with government, it's not something I would really I would really admire.
Yeah.
What would bring me to government? I would be to help change things, turn things around.
Yeah.
But for you to have that, you must be at a level of authority.
Yes.
You must have the authority to actually do that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to be frustrated.
Yeah.
So the frustration is what I wouldn't want to see.
Yeah.
But private sector is doing its best.
Yeah.
Most of the events you see around, this has come up, guys, we have, say, these hackathons, people are building solutions. They are being supported by private sector. In most cases. So on their end, I think
they're doing the most.
They're doing their job, really.
So it's no longer selfish interest. They want to see the ecosystem grow.
So we used to have a lot of the selfish interest.
But
along the way, and I cannot say they are no longer there.
Yes.
Just like we said, with government, it's not totally the negative.
The negatives,
So again, in the private sector, of course, you'll find more of those that may still have the selfish tendency. But along the way, people have realized that for you to actually move a pin, you need to work together.
True.
You need to work together and push, The end goal is for us to see this economy, or the country at another level. We need growth.
Yes.
And even if, so when you look at what's happening, it's not going to be, the success of that is not going to be based on one individual. If you are going to have, say partnerships as private sector and, it's not about one individual. So you'll say, we were part of this, it's not about an individual. And I think it has changed over time. We can now see, co-founders of, several organizations, several hubs come together, on a round table to build something. That's what we are now seeing.
Impressive.
So it's no longer the thought of competition.
So people are breaking down the silos.
When I get to the startups and I'm talking to them, if they have to do a pitch, if it's pitching, they're simply talking about, this is. It's not the competition they talk about is not in a bad way.
Okay,
they are not in a bad way, and there are people who have actually come to consult. We are also trying to do a thing like this. How do you do it? So that's how we can move this ecosystem to another.